The first time I read Return to the Place I Never Left, it really stood out to me as a book that approaches what is a deeply painful subject in a very unique way. It's written in verse, and so it looks like poetry on the page. It has very little punctuation, and so it reads like a stream of consciousness. And when you read this book, you really get to understand the mind, the thought process of Tobias Schiff. I'm Dani James. I'm a writer and a translator. I'm from New York, but I grew up in Belgium, where I grew up speaking English, French, and Dutch. The fact that I speak multiple languages was a strong driver in me wanting to bring this book to an English-speaking audience. It was originally written in Flemish, and so it's limited to a few small countries in the world that speak the language. This particular part is a part that I feel is really meaningful because he talks about the fact that the generation of children who were born after the Holocaust, he talks about the impact that that has. When you have a generation of parents who have been traumatized by their experience. My grandparents on my mother's side of the family were Holocaust survivors. And here are a few photos of them. One, I just really love this picture. This is the era where, you know, people used to take all those street pictures, you know, the old school pictures back in the day. Memoirs, and specifically survival memoirs, they help educate, they help document the experiences in a way that we don't always learn in history books.
Thank you very much for showing up tonight. Very, very grateful that you're all here. I'm going to talk about my journey to the book and a little bit about Tobias Schiff, the original author. He spent years in places filled with terror, abuse, and murder, and in places where you create memories that don't ever leave you. Going back is a form of liberation. I return to a place I've lived. The word lived can't be used to describe my time there.
Poetry has a deep concern for formatting and the way its layout looks on the page. I created vignettes where initially there were run-on chapters, all to help amplify the essence and the meaning of the text. So what the author is trying to represent here is all the children who died. I wanted to add a visual representation of this. And so I thought, how could this land in both a visual way in addition to reading the text? And so there's this repetition of another child plus another child. The most challenging aspect of translating this book was having to be steeped in the subject matter continuously over a long period of time. I had to constantly reread and reread and reread. One moment in the translation process where I had to make a difficult linguistic decision was when translating a very specific word, whether I should translate it to say ghost or spirit. But in the way that it was presented, I felt like the meaning more closely aligned to ghosts. It's one of the great parts of translation. You get to play with language, but you also have to make sure that you really bring out the true meaning of the text. It feels like this world has become more and more polarized, and we seem more disconnected from one another. By continuing to bring memoirs to a larger audience, that people remember that we really all are part of a collective. I hope people walk away from reading this book with an understanding of the danger of letting harmful and hateful language go unchecked, and also to lead with empathy and remember that everybody has an individual story, and it's important to get to know that story.